It's not a perfect movie, but it was perfectly timed, and it broke me. It broke me in such a good way. It cracked what was remaining of the shell.
Welcome all you small town dreamers and small town elite. It's another episode of Cozy Quilt Cinema. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Beth, currently navigating the gap between who I am and who the world thinks I should be, but finding my voice one bold choice at a time. Every week, Michelle and I curl up on the couch, watch a movie, and we carry it into the studio and unravel it like a male quietly rearranging the world to make one person's life a little more magical. It's not a critical review, though we probably will be critical. Can you survive a small town as a trans girl? Is falling in love the same as finally being seen? Wrap yourself in your Yaya's tumbling blocks comforter and climb into the blanket fort and hit play. It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
Happy Pride, y'all.
Not awkward at all.
Nope.
So, yeah, this is a pick by me for Pride because this is a movie that didn't crack my egg. It just helped crack the egg.
Mm-hmm.
It was the hammer blow in a lot of ways. And it's Boy Meets Girl, 2014.
Mm-hmm. I know that if you're listening to these chronologically, last week we gave the clues for a different movie. Two things. One, not that we forgot that it was Pride, we just recorded the last episode before Pride, and it was going to get aired during Pride. But also, I think we're going to no longer do the clues because it does kind of pigeonhole us into certain movies when we have guests and stuff like that. Kind of makes it a little bit difficult. And also nobody responds. Like I've had since we've been doing this for a year and a half.
Yeah.
I've had 2 people actually make a guess. And so unless you really enjoy the clues, you have to let us know and we'll bring them back. But if not, then I think we're just going to do away with the clues. Maybe if I didn't have, unfortunately, real life things to deal with, I could spend more time on our social media and remember to be more consistent with doing online clues on Instagram and stuff. But unfortunately, real life is a reality, and it tends to get in the way of me having fun.
I get that. So, Boy Meets Girl, 2014, is a funny, tender, sex-positive, romantic comedy drama set in a small town in rural Kentucky. Ricky Jones, a 21-year-old transgender woman with big dreams of moving to New York to study fashion design, spends her days slinging lattes and hanging out with her lifelong best friend, Robby, when a charming Southern debutante named Francesca walks into the coffee shop. An unexpected friendship blossoms into something much more. And it forces everyone in the triangle to reckon with who they really are, what they really want, and who they really love. It's a movie about being seen, being free, and daring to ask for everything. And that is the very short version of this very imperfect but lovable film.
It is. So, before we start getting into it, the first thing I noticed when I was doing my research, it was a quote by the Washington Post. And I wrote it down only because I was like, well, let me see how true this is, get my own personal opinion. And honestly, this is very, very true. The Washington Post said, Boy Meets Girl comes across not just as an emotional story, but also an earnestly instructive one. I can speak, I promise. And it's true because what I realized with this movie is it wasn't pandering, and it very much was an instruction of how really we should be.
Yeah. I think it's instructive of the way you should be emotionally.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than the things you should say, because there are some issues.
Oh, no, definitely. But there is a lot of emotional maturity.
Yeah, and we'll go over that stuff. How I felt when I first saw this was, I mean, I was not out yet.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting ready to come out. You were away. I forget what exactly you were away with. I think our son. Or no, it was a conference.
It might have been in Texas at the conference. Yeah,
the conference in Texas. That's what it was. And so you were gone for a while. I just remember that I painted my nails red, and I was frantic because yes, I had 3 days, but red doesn't come out very easily. And for whatever reason, I was drawn to red nails. I think it just because it was the most ostentatious color I could think of.
Yeah.
I was just freaking out. I was looking up on the internet how to get red off my nails. At the time, I hadn't thought of that. I had my nails painted red very badly. And I was still presenting as a boy. I had not come out as a man, I guess. And this movie, and a lot of things happened in 2014 to 2015 that just kind of guided things along. And it's kind of like a red sweater. So if someone mentions red sweater, you notice them everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But until then, you don't really notice them at all. And because it was weighing on me for so many years, I had gotten used to seeing the red sweaters. I'd gotten used to seeing the trans representation that other people didn't notice. But then I got used to denying it. I got used to ignoring it. And this movie hit me at just the perfect right time for me to feel all kinds of ways about this movie and myself. Because the movie hits right into some of the things that I had trouble reconciling about me for other people. I don't know how I could explain to other people who I was if I could not necessarily explain it to myself. And that has haunted me a lifetime because I need explanations. I need those definitions. It's who I am. I require them. But this movie was perfectly timed. It's not a perfect movie, but it was perfectly timed, and it broke me. It broke me in such a good way. It cracked what was remaining of the shell. The shell was cracked, but I was having trouble getting out. And I'm going to keep using the egg reference because we have chickens, and that's all I'm thinking of right now.
You had an egg tooth. You just needed a little bit of extra tapping.
Right. So the good thing is this came along, and it did crack that egg because we were getting married. And I think it was in June, was it? When was your conference?
April.
That's what it was. It was shortly thereafter I came out to you.
Yeah.
Like within the month.
No.
Or the month after?
You did not come out to me until 1 month before our wedding.
Was it in July? I thought it was in June. Or
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's my feelings on it. A myriad of feelings. Nervousness, fear, elation. A lot of things with this film. I don't think I could pin down one particular one, and it's not a great film. It's just not.
I mean, it's not, and it's got its bad moments, but then it's got its really good moments.
Well, it's not a great film, but it's a great film.
Yeah, it's got, so it is, I've never seen it before, so I'll talk about my feelings about watching it later.
Okay.
But what I realized is this movie is a snapshot of 2014.
It really is.
And not in a bad way, I don't think. Well, I mean, yes and no. So her use Miss Ricky was definitely a little emo girl when she's doing her video, and doing the video with the signs where she's holding up the signs that say something. That is so 2014,
Yeah, well, it's a picture of her a few years, like when she was younger.
Yeah, it's 7 years prior is what it even says.
Right. Yeah. And then it's her in her emo phase.
Yeah.
But it's her as her,
mm-hmm.
and her mother has already left.
Yes.
And we find this out through the vignettes of that video.
Yeah. Well, and see now, again, there was confusion for me, and this is where the movie's not great, because it doesn't give you definitives on the things you kind of need definitives on. So she told everybody her mom had died of cancer, and then the little notes are saying that that's why she left, and why she thinks she left is because of her being trans. But I think it turns out that she did have cancer. She just misinterpreted, like, that was mom leaving. Because dad doesn't say that she left, because she says she would have, it said, a sweet girl if she could have.
Okay, so here's my take on this.
Uh-huh.
And I have not looked it up to see what the intentions were. My take on the mother
mm-hmm.
is, and by the way, Ricky Jones is played by Michelle Hindley, who is absolutely a fantastic person. She is so dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to be anything like her, as strong as her, even in real life.
Mm-hmm.
She's gone through so many different changes over the years. She got her cosmetology
mm-hmm.
license and stuff. She did hair, she did makeup, stuff like that. And then she's been in acting, and now I think she's doing a web series, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But she did Blind Spot as well, Insatiable.
Yeah. She was in an episode of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, so I mean,
yeah. She does work.
She hasn't since 2020, at least according to the IMDb.
Well, she's doing a web series.
Yeah, so
yeah. But she is absolutely fantastic in this, but I think that my take on this is that the mother died of cancer,
mm-hmm.
but we internalize the things as why someone left. And I can see that.
Yeah.
I can understand.
And especially because she was young. So yeah, 2014 is when the movie takes place. 2007 would have been when she made that video. And again, that was totally emo, the signs, that 2007. And she was a baby, not a baby, but she was, a young girl. And she's trying to rationalize this grief, the grief and the loss, and knowing that her mother never got a chance to know her.
Well, what I get from that is she did get to know her, and she was upset about it. Her mother never got to come to terms with it because the cancer took her too soon.
That's it.
So I understand this. That my mother was going through cancer.
Yeah.
She had she had level 4 lung cancer. And it was in remission several times, but I kept rationalizing why I didn't come out to her.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that I come out to you. We got married, me presenting as a boy. That's how awkward it was for me, because my parents were going to be here. My stepfather and my mother were going to be here. And I didn't want to I kept telling myself I didn't want to put that pressure on her. That I didn't want her to have to deal with that on top of her cancer. But honestly, I'm telling you right now, it was a lie. It was a lie I told to preserve my own self.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be rejected. I was afraid.
Well, yeah. But as we've pointed out many times, our son came out right at that time and had no fucks to give.
Oh yeah, no, he was presenting
as himself at our wedding. Heck, your parents brought him a car.
Yeah.
And he was all, and your mom, she didn't bat an eye about it. So, looking back, it's hard because it's your parent. But at the same time, you can, it's like, shit,
No, I have regrets. I regret not coming out to her. I regret not giving her the trust implied in coming out. I regret not giving her the chance to accept me. I know she would have. That's the thing that kills me, that she definitely would have done so. I have no doubts about that.
But you also,
my fears,
she was dealing with a lot too.
Sure,
and you didn't want to add something.
But it was my fears. It was not, it was only the excuse of I didn't want to add to her. But I was her baby and I didn't want to jeopardize that loss.
Yeah.
Because coming out, I lost a lot of people. Now, were they worth losing? Absolutely. Some people are worth losing.
Oh, yeah. And it's hard.
And I regret losing them, but shit. I mean, sometimes you have to lose people. Sometimes you have to let people go, or the idea of who they are, because they've been living on the idea of who you are, and it's been wrong this entire time.
Yeah, I feel that too, because again, my own personal issues with family, and I'm not gonna lie, my life has been a lot less stressful without thinking about that. I mean,
not less painful.
No, I mean, do I miss them? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I miss the idea of them. I don't miss the anxiety. Even the idea of talking to them right now gives me anxiety. And so, no, I get that it's not necessarily a happy choice to cut people out, but also it can be very, very relieving to have that toxicity out of your life.
But this vignette of this, I don't know.
It's not even what the whole movie's about. No.
Yeah,
it's just,
this video,
it
sporadically happens throughout the film in key moments, which I think is done very well because it's giving you insight into the child.
Yes, and who she becomes.
Because you already see who she is. And that's a strong woman who really takes no fucks. And a lot of her personality in that aspect of not hiding who she is what I absorbed throughout my thing. I don't, if someone clocks something, I call it out.
Yeah.
That's my power.
Yeah, and so at first, I kind of felt bad when we were watching it because, she kept outing herself. And yet, at the same time, so I felt bad because I felt like, God, she shouldn't have to do that. She shouldn't have to do that. And no, you shouldn't have to out yourself all the time. But also, maybe if we lived in a perfect place where people didn't actually give a flying fuck, then you wouldn't have to do that all the time.
There would be nothing to come out to.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, and I understand the need to have, even to build good relationships, is to build those good relationships on truths. But it's very hard to see somebody have to do that to themselves. It's like, and this is very, very pejorative. I am totally going to boil this down to a basic of, I meet somebody and I really want to be friends, but I have to share this with you that I have a birthmark on my arm, and this birthmark is shaped like Hitler. And, I don't like to show it to people, but, I figured if we're going to be friends, you should know about this because other people might take it as me being a neo-Nazi hateful person or a tattoo because it's really big and it really looks like Hitler. It takes up my whole arm. So, I mean, it's not something you need to share. You shouldn't have to. But the world is a horrible thing. I know. I totally. That's how I see.
It's a very big analogy.
But as a non-trans person, I don't know how else to explain how I feel about it. I can't feel the way a trans person feels about it because again, don't have that experience. But as a non-trans person, to me, the idea of having to constantly share something so private about yourself just so that you can make good relationships has to be maddening.
Well, this movie is about cis people as well.
Mm-hmm.
So cisgender people make up the majority of this film. There's only one trans girl in the entire film. This is not a story about a lot of gay people and trans people in a town together. This is about one trans girl
Mm-hmm.
and a whole bunch of people that present as straight.
Yes.
And I say present as straight because...
Turns out, no, they're not.
Well, in some ways, a lot of them are straight and some are not.
Mm-hmm.
Some are bi, and we see that progress throughout it. And some are in the gray. This is a lot of gray because it's badly constructed in the film. Of what straight sex means, what gay sex means.
No, definitely.
And
the conversation.
And their ideas of it. It's very painful to watch, but it's 2015. Trying to explain to 2026.
Also, they're 20-somethings. And,
Sure.
you know, I kind of appreciate the that aspect of them being young and trying to explain straight and gay sex to each other and not having any type of, you know, actual academic facts.
Right. But this is in a small town. It is very much like the small town we're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, a lot of the scenery looks like it, but it's in Vermont.
They filmed it in Vermont, but it takes place in Kentucky.
Right. They filmed it in Vermont. But it looks like where we are.
Well, that's because
it's all the waterfalls.
And the mountains, yeah.
So it's very reminiscent, and you can see why I kept equating it to the things that happened to me here.
Well, yeah.
Ricky deals with a lot of things throughout the film, a lot of transphobic things, a lot of gay slurs, a lot of things that are not great. But she's always the kind one.
Or she turns it back at them in the best ways.
Sure, she's very good at turning things back on someone, but she does it with kindness.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because if you react
aggressively,
you're the crazy one. And trans people have to be aware of that. Trans people have to be careful. So when a black person goes into a restaurant and they are not welcome, they don't lose their minds and start accusing someone of racism. A lot of times they'll be very stoic.
Yes.
And they'll either leave or they'll sit and keep their place and make that person serve them, rightfully so. And that is how that, you know, racism has been defined in America, is that stoicism, that quiet anger. And trans people, while they're of many races and religions and everything, trans people have a lot of trouble navigating the social areas of life in America because we're trying to be stoic, but if you're too quiet, they take advantage of that because silence works for the oppressor. And we don't have the foundation of a racial group to rely on. We are all kinds of people. We just happen to be trans. That's like saying everyone that has blue eyes should band together. Well, you're all different. Or has hazel eyes.
Bitches, no.
Hazel eyes or whatever, you know. It's a trait that you have. It doesn't define you only, but it does define you because other people are defining you by it. If I never had to worry about being trans, if no one ever took away my rights because I was trans, I would never have to say I was trans. It wouldn't even come up. I forget a lot of times that I ever presented as a boy. And sometimes I literally forget what my dead name was or things like that. And I just forget that. And that was the majority of my life.
Yeah.
But it was never me. So it's like, do you remember the mask you had in 5th grade for Halloween?
No.
I don't either. And I don't remember what it was like to present as a boy.
Yeah.
Because it was only ever a thing that I wore, and it wasn't me.
Yeah. I remember I had a teacher who used to make us listen to him sing John Denver songs as a reward.
Yeah, it sounds like not a reward.
It was not. He also made us spell his name as extra credit.
But yeah, so this is directed and written by Eric Schaeffer. And he wrote this, I think, at a time where he was having a lot of trouble breaking into the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So he drove a cab in New York for like 9 years before getting into film. And he wrote like 20 screenplays and 2 stage plays and a novel.
Yeah.
He did My Life's in Turnaround, If Lucy Fell, and Never Again. A lot of these are romantic comedies, by the way. One was with Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yes.
And Elle Macpherson, If Lucy Fell.
He did Adventureland with Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart.
Yep.
And Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. So Eric has done a lot of things. This is a cis man writing a trans woman. So you have to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Although he did get a lot of information from trans women, it wasn't perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And in a lot of ways, it fails.
Well, I think when it comes to, and this is one thing we need to keep in mind. It's the saying that we use for autism. If you met one you met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person.
Right.
And I think people need to do that with trans individuals as well. If you've met one trans individual, you've met one trans individual. You cannot lump everybody in the same
No, because we're not a monolith. We all have different ideas.
I've met many trans people in my, not so much as when I was younger, but definitely now in my later years. And every one of y'all have been different. And I'm okay with that because it should be that way because you are individuals.
I feel the same way about cis people. They're all different.
They're all alike. They're all
every
alike.
cis person I've met's been different. But we open up in this Kentucky town, which is not dramatic at all. It feels very much, in fact, like opening up in Clerks.
Mm-hmm.
It is a standard day in which people are working.
Yes.
So Ricky's working in her coffee shop, which I'm not sure if it's a coffee shop that serves food or a food place that serves coffee.
Yeah.
I think it's a coffee shop.
Well, she does get a little pissy about the whole,
right,
the drink order.
Right. She's a barista. She is serving people, and she has Robby, who is her best friend, there, and that's played by Michael Welch, who was in the Twilight Saga.
Yes, he was. He played Mike.
I don't know who that
Mike
is.
was a human.
Okay.
Yeah, he's one of the high schoolers.
Ah, okay. Well, he's human in this as well.
Yep. He does an episode of Lucifer, too.
Oh, does he?
He's Kyle Erickson.
Kyle Erickson.
In only one episode.
And much like in Clerks, they're talking. They're just talking to each other. They're bantering. And it feels very lived in. That's the one thing I can say about these two. They have chemistry with each other. Even though it is not the best acting in the world. Maybe it's not the best dialogue in the world.
So I think it got better. But yeah, in the beginning it was a little hard. But I think that it's really not bad acting or even bad writing. It was so natural that I think we're used to a certain level of acting when it comes to movies, and that level usually does not consist of it's the accents and the laid backness of it all. And this, I think, was a lot better than I think give it credit for.
Maybe unpolished is what I mean.
Yeah, it's because it was not bad in any way. I mean, I
don't mean bad. I just mean it's not like it.
It is organic.
Not
it is
polished.
Yes, it is organic. It is very, very rough.
It feels like a documentary
to a certain degree. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not documentary style. It feels like you're just watching two people talk, And that was the dialogue they were told to do. And if the light blows up, then we're leaving the studio.
Yeah, because so we have a weird light that we don't know why, but it just flickers on and off.
I think it's a bad bulb.
Well, no, we've replaced the bulb. I think it's something to do with the wiring, but we don't want to address that.
It's an old house.
It is. So whenever it flickers, I think that the demons are getting getting a little cranky, and sometimes it'll just go flick, flick, and then it's done. But
yeah, but they can't see that. So
it's very, very active right now.
Go back to the movie. So they're talking, and Robby is there just because he's hanging out.
Yeah, he works with her dad.
Right, at their garage that he owns. While they're doing that, Francesca comes in, who is Alexandra Tertian. And she has done, I don't know. I literally don't have anything on her.
Either her or Michael Galante. I did not write anything down for them.
Okay, well, let me see if I can find something on her, because honestly, I just didn't have her on here. I don't know why I didn't.
Is it me, or does she have a bit of Billie Piper look about her?
She kind of does, like a sharper Billie Piper.
She has, definitely early seasons of Billie Piper.
She's done several TV series. One was Ray Donovan, The Bold Type, Red Oaks, and Partner Track. So she's done several things. She's done a lot of film. A lot of TV series.
Yes, that's one thing I noticed. I kind of don't always write down when they do TV shows.
Yeah.
But, straight on, like when you look at her headshot, that's a straight on picture. She does look a lot like Billie Piper.
Right. Oh, no, I've got her here. I just skipped her over somehow. Red Oaks, Partner Track, and Body, which was an indie thriller feature.
Okay.
So, there we go. Now we know where she fits into the equation. But she comes in. She is very much the debutante Southern girl.
Yes.
Very, she gives off rich vibes without too snobby.
Yeah, she's definitely somebody who's, been a bit sheltered and
unaware
but
of
not
her heirs.
Yes. Well, and she's unaware of realities, but is very not guileless in a bad way, but guileless when it comes to not knowing. Like
I think she's just free of bigotries right now.
She really is.
She doesn't know enough to be bigoted.
That and also like the questions that she asks.
That sounds
Ricky.
mean, but yeah.
No. But the questions she asks Ricky are kind of like, holy shit. But then at the same time, Ricky's just like, okay, cool. Okay, you asked. I'm going to tell you now. Again, goes with being a non-transgender person and not being able to answer for that side of it. But as a non-transgender person, because for some reason, I really don't want to be called cis. And it's not that it's bad. It's not bad to be cis. But unfortunately, there are so many hateful cis people that I just don't want to affiliate with them. So I just rather say non-transgender. But
being cisgender is just...
I know, it's just being who I know. I know what it means. I'm just saying that there are so many people out there. And again, I don't want to jump on that whole, well, don't call me that. I'm not. No, I am. I know what I am. I just don't want that label of being called cis at this moment when there are so many people who are cis and are hateful, and I don't want to be lumped with them.
Well, we can just call them bigots.
Well, yes. I just know that the first time I ever saw cis anywhere was on a transgender person at the community college I was going to, and they were angry and they were hateful towards a lot of people who were cis. And I get that. They were probably totally treated like shit by most cisgendered people. It's just, and I think that's part of why I don't like to use it, because again, I don't want people.
Well, I mean, if you use non-black to say that you're a white person.
No, but that's not.
Black people say white people do this all the time.
It's not the same. Well, I do want that one shirt that says I'm white, but I'm not that white. But again, I like to consider myself a safe person for everybody. And certain words are trigger words to other people. Saying I'm white is not necessarily a trigger word. It could be. I don't know. I'm just me. I'm thinking of this on the at the moment, and now I don't remember what I was going to say, so it doesn't even matter.
Okay. So Francesca is asking for a latte, but she asked for something else first, a frappuccino.
Yeah, something.
And she doesn't get that this is not that kind of place. And Ricky kind of shuts her down nicely, but tersely. This is kind of the start to like how Ricky relates to people. That kind of stark honesty of how she feels about something without overloading you with a lot of background.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do like the breakdown of every scene, but this is where you introduce in the triangle basically. And Robby is a friend right now, but he won't always be.
Too many people point out that he likes her and she doesn't react, and he kind of gets awkward, and they both get a little awkward about it. But there are so many people that comment about how much he likes her.
Well, throughout the film, they say, I see how he looks at you, or I see how he acts around you. And that may be true, but she doesn't see it that way, and he hasn't dealt with his feelings.
No.
So until he identifies his feelings and she actually looks at him that way, it's never anything they're going to acknowledge. Right now, they're friends, and that's fine for them.
Yeah.
But I think that where we get the bi kind of thing going is the fact that she is attracted to men. So on both their parts, Francesca is attracted to men, and so is Ricky. And then they find themselves attracted to each other, and that starts their bi kind of revelation, I guess, because they've never been with a woman. Neither one of them have. So both of them are entering into this kind of like bi relationship.
Yeah.
They both develop this relationship. It goes fairly quickly into that idea that Ricky, who has never been with a man or with a woman, is trying to figure out how that is going to work for her. And she's still trying to come up with, she knows who she is.
Yes.
Trans people know who they are. They're trying to figure out how to exist in society and social circles. That's where the confusion comes in. It's not our society. It's not our social circles. We have to adapt to pre-existing ones.
Well, and you've pointed this out many times. There's a difference between gender and sexuality.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, she is a girl, and she's having to figure out how to be with a girl who she's attracted to and hasn't felt attracted to women previously. And the same with Francesca, who has not felt an attraction to women and is now doing so. And at first it's very friendly, but Ricky tells her almost right away. I think they meet each other right after the coffee at the coffee house. They're at a watering hole, swimming hole. Robby and Ricky are. And Francesca shows up out of nowhere. And I'm like, does everybody come to this one place? Is that what it is? It's that. But then
Ricky's like, how did you know about this? And then she's like, I grew up here. So, but she went to boarding school.
Right. So she was there during the summers.
Yes.
When you would be at the swimming hole.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I was going to say. How we have two women who like men, but then find themselves attracted to each other. This is where labels become an issue. And they've kind of play with this a little bit in the movie too, because labels are an issue. Well, what does this make me? Or what does this make her? I, again, am of the belief that it doesn't matter. But
so is Ricky.
Yeah, and I understand that in some cases people need those labels. I think labels are important when it comes to how people get services or how people get the things that they need in life. Those are labels that are important. But yet, as long as those labels aren't being used in a derogatory sense, I hate the R word, almost as much as I hate the N word.
Oh, yeah, and it gets used.
And it does get used in this movie, the R word, not the N word, but still. I hate those words. And, I forgot that word is prevalent at the end of the Shoop song by Salt and Pepper. I was listening to it the other day, and I'm like, I'm getting my groove on because I fucking love Salt and Pepper, and I love that song. And then at the end, I don't remember the guy who does the little rap at the end, but he uses the R word, and I forgot how offensive it is. And I was just like, I can't like my song anymore.
And it's almost like a guttural kind of thing.
Because they make a noise afterwards, which really made me angry.
Yeah, it's really, and it's Robby doing it, which is worse, because you're like, come on, man, you're supposed to be...
yeah, with that part. Sorry, I was still in the song.
Oh, no, I'm saying with him in the movie.
Oh,
because,
yeah, no.
It's the movie, but Robby saying it is just, of course, Robby, there's a few times where Robby, like, really, and it's supposed to, it hits you very hard in the, what the fuck, Robby?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just what the fuck? Because he's been her cheerleader since he was 6. But people are not, again, a monolith. So Robby's not always supportive. Sometimes he's self-centered, and sometimes he wants to be acknowledged, and sometimes he feels awkwardly about the situation, and sometimes he feels transphobic.
Mm-hmm.
People are transphobic. Trans people are transphobic. We are not perfect creatures. We fall into a phobia once in a while. We fall into a trope once in a while because we're not perfect humans. Expecting a marginalized group to be perfect is dehumanizing because no humans are perfect. And Robby's not a perfect person, but neither is Ricky. And neither is Francesca. And Francesca's got a boyfriend. She's got a fiance. And she still falls for Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
And Ricky falls for her. And you can see why. They have a chemistry, and it's very cute.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very like high school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like they're just kind of reliving a high school fantasy kind of situation.
But also think about, Francesca went to a boarding school, so she probably didn't get that true high school experience that most, high school, public school kids get.
Yeah.
And you don't know how much of that Ricky got in the full extent. I mean, you get the idea that, yes, she had Robby as her, she didn't need a cheerleader, but she had him as a cheerleader. But how much of it was, a struggle?
Oh, well, you see in many little flashbacks that they have of her being treated as a boy despite being a girl.
Yeah.
And it's always the accusation of, no one's ever, well, you're a boy, so it's no big deal. It's, you're a boy. It's an accusation of trying to force you to conform to something they want you to be when it has nothing to do with who you are is weird. It's just as weird to a trans person, to a trans woman, for you to say that they're a man as it would be if anybody were to tell a cis woman that they're a man. It's fucking weird. It makes no sense. Because no one is looking in anyone's pants. No one is walking around unclothed saying, well, because your genitals are configured like this, you have to be this. And genitals don't mean anything, but you don't see anything about that person except you see the outline of a person.
Well, I think that kind of is what I was trying to get at with my Hitler birthmark thing was, again, no one would see it.
Sure.
And it's no one's going to be going around doing a birthmark check.
Yeah.
No one's going to be going around doing a pants check because, again, it shouldn't fucking matter.
I mean, they want to now.
They do.
In fact, I just saw it in the news where a Washington Post had reported that they wanted to start doing it for children, for a girls' team in a school, in a middle school. They want to start doing genital checks.
That's abuse, and that is not,
right.
That is not cool.
And that's the thing is, it doesn't matter what genitals you find. That's not their gender, and it's not even their sex. That is one small piece of a puzzle of sex, which is a spectrum. Just like gender is a spectrum. It makes no sense to base everything off of one thing. That means nothing. This is the thing that Ricky is still contending with, is she doesn't have gender dysphoria.
No, she does not.
She doesn't have issues or body dysmorphia either. She doesn't have issues with her body. She knows who she is. The body's just not configured correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And they do say in the movie, born in the wrong body, which is a very 2015 thing to say, but it's essentially saying the body can be changed. The body's not the issue. It just needs to be altered to fit what I need.
Mm-hmm.
Saying you're born in the wrong body was the conventional way to say all of that, I don't know, very deep, very involved and complicated concept of when I say I'm having a sex change, it doesn't mean I need to change in order to be that sex. It means I'm doing the change.
Making the outside match the inside. Yeah.
Right. I'm matching it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And that's what she's trying to get across in a lot of this, but it's a cis man writing for a trans woman. No matter how much you try to prep him, and no matter how much you might be an expert on the issue, you're also going to make mistakes. So even his experts, which would presumably be trans people, are not going to be all right on this because it's 2015 versus 2026. Mm-hmm. That historical lens comes back to bite you in the ass.
Every time.
But Ricky is just trying to be friends right now. And they meet at the watering hole. And she immediately opens up with Francesca that she's trans. And she does it in a text, which is very cute and very 2015.
Yeah, she couldn't say it. And so she asked her number so she could text it to her.
And I think that is a really good way to do it. I think that I have done something similar to that to give someone time. Mm-hmm. It's giving someone time to process what you said because it doesn't enter their mind that you might be trans. And it's not about passing. So passing is a privilege. And in some instances, you want to pass. It's a safety issue. But I don't think it should be the goal. I think that passing is just something you either do or you don't. It just means you're conforming to cis society, which is the majority society. Doesn't mean it's right. It just is what it is. And Ricky passes. So it throws people off that she's trans, and she's trying to let Francesca know I'm trans.
Yes.
And she says transgender woman. And then she says transsexual when Francesca doesn't get it because she's sheltered.
Yes.
And she just doesn't understand.
And like later on, David says transvestite. And it's like, no, you're all sorts of all over the place, man.
Right.
But he was being a dickhead.
Right. And David is the fiance,
yes.
Francesca's fiance, who is played by Michael Galante, or Gallant.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Gallant because I think the E on the end is just pretentious. But he was in Locker 13, and he was in various stage and indie productions. I don't think he's done a lot of work in film so much as he's done stage production. So, yeah, he was good in this because he was very convincing. I tell you, when he, as David, reacts on the phone call, because they're doing the thing of he's a Marine and he's calling in online to talk to Francesca. So you see a video of him. Mm-hmm. That's where you see the majority of him in the film. And these brief moments of him popping up on her phone or computer. His reaction to Francesca hanging out with Ricky.
Because he knew her.
He knew her from school. They don't know how well. You find out later on in the film. Quite well. He reacts violently.
Oh, yes.
In a way that I have seen only in like MAGA presentations. And I'm talking about like, the videos in which you have the full on Nazi like regalia and the spittle laden hate, the vitriol.
Yes. He is livid that she's met and is talking to Ricky.
It's such a surprise to her to see the level of hate that he exudes.
Yeah, I think she's like in shock because she's like, oh,
Right.
okay, well, I love you. Bye.
Right. But she does start building up a spine. First of all, she has a relationship with Ricky. And, this turns into a sexual encounter,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't great for like cheating on someone.
No.
But this is also kind of an experimental thing between the two. And it is, are they developing feelings? They're still trying to figure out if this even means anything or if this is just something they're doing just to see if it feels right.
Yeah, I guess I am like tainted by like so many movies where that type of relationship goes south fast in a very, very unhealthy way because one starts to use the other one to get information and it's very Mean Girls-ish. So I kept expecting Francesca to do something bad, to like say something wrong, but she doesn't.
Right. Now, when I first saw this film, I thought that. I kept waiting for the shoe to drop because this is a classic setup for the straight cis girl to lose her fucking mind.
Turn around and claim that Ricky, assaulted her or something like that. I was fully expecting that.
Right. And it's because, you get that sense that someone could use their privilege very easily to harm her.
What I also was shocked about was at her father's party. I know, so her dad ends up he's a politician and he pulls strings to get David back from Afghanistan. Is that where he is?
Yeah.
And he comes to the party to they surprise her and da-da-da. And Ricky is at this party with Robby.
Because she provided a dress for Francesca.
Yeah, and then Francesca invited her to the party. And then when, her and Robby are talking and she's like, Ricky made this dress for me. And he gets really like, you're still talking to that freak. And he starts like using very, very derogative terms, but he gets aggressive towards Francesca. Now, like I said, her dad's a politician and he had just met Ricky and Robby.
Mostly a bumbling kind of like genial kind of politician.
Yeah. And, you kind of expect him, though, to be pissed that this kid is like getting aggressive with his daughter, but also be like, and you never talk to her again. Once he realized what they were talking about, because at first he says, because David keeps calling Ricky, he keeps misgendering her. And
calling her a tranny.
Yep. And so the mom and dad kind of come into the end of that that argument. And so he's like, who should she stay away from? And he's like, that guy. And they're like, I thought that guy's name was Robby. And so then, David in his oh so eloquence explains who Ricky is. And he outs her. And the thing is the dad doesn't get upset about that. Like, he doesn't turn and be like, don't you hang out with that person, da-da-da-da. This is an election year or whatever the hell. Because he did at one point, he's like, are you old enough to vote? Are you going to vote for me? And, and they were like, yeah. Because it was kind of on the spot and they felt awkward.
Yeah.
And yet, when David goes at Francesca about the whole situation, dad doesn't get pissed at him and then turn around and get mad at her. He just, my daughter can be friends with whoever she wants.
He grabs David by the throat.
Yeah, because he went at her, and and that in itself would have been the end of that marriage. You don't come at me, dude. I don't give a shit what your fucking history is. You don't come at me with any type of physicality.
Yeah, so he grabs David by the throat and tells him in no uncertain terms he does not control Francesca.
Mm-hmm.
And David backs down very quickly because the man is not messing around. And honestly, I've never seen someone hit so well into a bigot's face and knock them down so quickly.
Yes, because I think he expected his dad.
It was very surprising.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I've seen this before. I was surprised.
It's because they come off as this, the quintessential Southern conservative family.
Sure, and
You see that the mother is later on.
Yeah, we find out the mother is
But that
kind
is
of a bitch.
not. He even says, that we're progressive in this family. He had no problem with,
Yeah, he said we're liberal.
Yeah, he's
Liberal.
and I thought that was actually funny because like they have to explain what teabagging is.
I know, but the mom said, "I'll explain it to you later."
Yeah, so mom's a bit more wily, yet mom is a bit more bigoted. Not bigoted, but closed-minded because she does say something. No, I mean, it's bigoted.
Yeah,
she does say something, but again, Ricky comes back at her and made me laugh out loud. Was she's like, you need to let Francesca go. She's naive and she's young and she's going to be so happy with David and da-da-da-da-da. And, the world is really harsh, so maybe you should just say it's a birth defect. And Ricky goes, oh, so that's what you do? Is that
exactly.
what you tell people? And it was so calm and so just like...
Well, because it does sting, and it stung Ricky to her core.
Oh, yes.
But she still had the presence of mind to say something back to her, because the whole point is you're saying again, I'm not who I am. It's who I am is not in question, but it's the only thing you have is to come at me with saying you don't think I am who I am.
Yes.
And so she turned it around on her and said, oh, is that what you tell people? Because you're the bitch here, not me.
Yeah, and it really bothers me when people make decisions for other people.
Yeah.
And tell people.
Don't God mode me.
Yeah, don't God mode me. Don't tell me what I know or how I feel. I will, again, I say this all the time, but your feelings are valid, and it is not my place to tell you that your feelings are wrong. Now, how you feel towards another human being by telling them that they're wrong in who they are, that's a dick move. Again, sometimes we need to start, we need to, first thing, we need to like not be assholes, but also if you're going to be an asshole, we need to go back to that time frame where people kept their inner monologue in their fucking heads and stop saying the quiet parts out loud.
I mean, that's true too. I don't need to know your bigotry.
Yeah, I mean, I have
if
a lot
you
of
say it out loud,
stupid...
you're letting me know your bigotry. You obviously want a response.
I mean, I have a lot of stupid that lives in my head, and as we've seen earlier, I'm trying to not verbalize so much stupid, but, yeah.
we all have our weak points. We learn as we go. We are not perfect people. We make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time about my own community. I still have to unpack a lot of things. I don't expect everybody to have everything perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I do not need everyone to be exactly like me or to think exactly like me. What I need is tolerance, because you start with tolerance so that you can learn.
Mm-hmm.
And once you learn, you gain acceptance. Tolerance is not the end. Tolerance is the beginning of the process of learning about someone else. When people say to me something completely bigoted, I know they have never had another trans person in their life.
Yeah.
I'm the first one they've encountered. Because if they had a trans person in their life, if they knew another trans person, they wouldn't have this bigotry. Once you learn about someone, it is very hard to gain a bigotry over them because we're just people. I don't have any extra appendages. I don't have like a robotic core. I am a human being. And this is another thing. I am a genetic girl because I have genetics, and I'm a girl. In this movie, they say genetic girl, and they really trail on that side of biological versus non-biological, because trans people are biological. We have a biology. We are made up of cells like everyone else. We fit the phenotype sex that we present as, for the most part. If we choose to, you don't have to. But we don't owe anyone our presentation either. No. We are who we are inside. If we choose to present that outside, that's fine. And that is on us to decide, not anyone else. Shouting, you're a man or you're a girl at a trans person doesn't really mean anything. It's infuriating because you don't want to be told who you are, but it doesn't change who we are. And it definitely doesn't make me want to be something other than who I am. I didn't come out thinking, oh, well, if somebody says I'm a man, I'm going right back into being, I'm going to keep pretending to be a man. No, that never enters my mind. You're never going to bully me into being someone I'm not. That came before. I bullied myself into pretending to be something I wasn't for years. You are certainly not going to do that to me now.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that bothers me is when people throw around the dangers of transgender people, and then I always like to hit them with the facts of, statistically speaking, men are the biggest problem that this planet has faced.
Well, yeah, I mean, cis men are like the largest statistical danger to every person.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue is we are not perfect. Expecting trans people to never do anything wrong means you expect perfection, which is dehumanizing. We have imperfections. I am very bad at singing. If that was the thing for perfection, then I would have to be imperfect because I cannot sing. And therefore I would be deemed not a person because I cannot sing well. We are not perfect people. I make mistakes all the time. I should not be expected to be perfect in order to be who I am. I just am, no matter what you do. Even if you do conversion therapy, even if you cut my hair off, even if you take away my access to HRT, it won't change that I'm a girl. It'll just make you feel better, you as in the people out there who force this on me. It'll make you feel like I'm a man, so you don't have to deal with it anymore. The idea that your patriarchy might be somehow endangered by me existing. It just makes you feel better. It won't make anything else change. The reality doesn't change at all.
No.
I'll still be me. And all those people that have to detransition because they have to keep a job, stuff like that, you citing their detransitioning only proves how hard it is to exist as a trans person in a cis world.
Mm-hmm.
It does not do anything else. It does not say anything about the trans person who had to detransition. Transitioning is not a condition of being transgender.
No.
It is just a result of an action by a trans person.
I think the thing that bothers me too is women who dislike trans women. I don't understand that. And sister, you need to check yourself, because women in general, women have been, I'm not talking about race, I'm not talking about sex, I'm not talking about, this. Women historically have been oppressed since the dawn of organized fucking religion.
That's true.
Because as soon as religion came into place, they saw the shamanists, they saw the medicine woman, they saw the women who were in power in these tribes, and they said, "Oh no, we can't have that shit. We can't have them knowing all the secrets." And that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, patriarchy developed from the standard of the matriarchy.
Mm-hmm.
That was the standard.
Yeah.
For humans.
How did they allow for female, monarchs? It kills me to this day. Like, how did they allow for that to happen when they hated women so much?
Yeah, I think the hate developed over the years and it became overbearing to the point we are now.
Well, I mean, also a lot of the old time matriarchs back in, the day, like, the Queen Elizabeth I and stuff like that, Mary Queen of Scots, they had to be brutal.
Sure.
You couldn't just be a human being. And you had to be a fighter to maintain that. And that's not, not saying that women can't be fighters. It's just not, when you say it's not in our nature, because honestly, I'm a fucking angry person all the time. So it is in our nature to be angry and to be fighters. But women held the knowledge of they were the storytellers. They were like I said, the healers. They were the ones who, in these tribes, that kept shit together.
Provided wisdom and things like that, yeah.
And so I see women as healers, but that's how I perceive women. Because that's what I want to see. But that doesn't mean that that's the right answer. So it always kind of like, I get that they had to be fighters and that they had to be vicious.
But I think anytime a marginalized group starts getting, or people within a marginalized group start getting some kind of privilege or idea that they have privilege, the ladder starts getting pulled up behind them. So they'll leave a lot of people behind because they themselves feel like they have privilege in some way, and they'll use that to their benefit.
I mean, we see that in modern, well, I'm going to say modern. I don't know what the modern business world is like, but I'm going to go to like the 80s and in the early 90s, where women were aggressively climbing that ladder to get to the tops of these companies, and they had to be more, I'm going to say masculine for lack of a term.
Well, and I think that too is also a misrepresentation for them in society.
Oh, definitely.
Is that to be a quote unquote stone cold bitch meant you were unladylike, but it's not. It's just that they put that epitaph on women. They put that idea upon women because if they're as aggressive as the men are, they must be a bitch and not brilliant, strategic minded people.
Or if they are, oh, she's a business bitch. I mean, she's in there and she's, cutting down people, and she's got that man mentality to be a business person, blah, 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 blah. That's what it is. It's seeing that,
It's a patriarchal.
It is a patriarchal.
Slant.
And it shouldn't, can I just be soft and squishy and still run the company?
You can.
You
I mean,
can,
you
but
absolutely
but
can.
it's so hard to get to that point. Yeah.
Sure.
I am not that ambitious in life.
And we've diverged way off of the topic.
But not really, because we are talking about society's perceptions of things, and it shouldn't be, so goddamn black and white.
And I think this film really isn't black and white in a lot of ways. I think the failures or the bad takes in some of this in the movie point out, I think, a deficiency that people probably have regarding not just trans people, but just relationships. Francesca, who cannot speak to her fiance, David, about not being a virgin. She's still doing the I'm a virgin thing.
Yeah.
I thought that went out in the 1800s, but no, we're still in it.
Purity culture is still a thing.
Right. So there's this idea that she's a virgin. And
virginity is a concept.
She obviously is not a virgin, and she shouldn't have to be.
No.
And David should know better, and David himself is not a virgin, so why do you expect it of Francesca? Now, Ricky has not been with a woman, and she's only been with one man, and we find out later that man was David. Now, she's dated men, but she's not gone all the way with them.
Yes.
Because these are still very young kids.
Yeah,
they're in their
young,
20s. Yeah. David is obviously phobic, and he's taking out his feelings of being with Ricky on Ricky because he's mad at her for how he felt. He was attracted to Ricky. He liked her. Now, what I do like what this film did is it did not devolve into a very easy trope, which is to just be evil. For David to just, because he does show up, he does come to town, and he confronts Ricky.
Yes.
And he takes her to the ground, and you feel, and I know I said before this film, I was telling Michelle about it. I was like, I don't know if we should put something at the front because of the not really sexual assault, but kind of. It wasn't sexual assault. No. It was just him taking her to the ground. When I first saw this film, I think that's the way I felt. I felt like he was like going to attack her sexually. And I kind of absorbed that. I think I just kind of put that in.
What you were expecting to happen.
Right. So I kind of like had that in my head when we were talking about it, and I forgot that that is not what happened.
No, he takes her down like, you know, as if he was fighting with, you know, a friend, you know, a guy.
Well, as if actually he took her down like he was going to like fight a girl.
And yeah.
Like he had both her wrists down on the ground. He was holding her down, and this is one of those situations, are we hugging or are we hitting? So, like, he could either kiss her deeply or punch her in the face.
That's true.
Either one of those things, or he could sexually assault her. We don't know what's going to happen because he's so fucking angry. She's afraid, but she's also standing her ground, even though she's laying on the ground. And she says, "What are you going to do?"
Yeah. Well, she kind of makes it like, you know, what she said something about
you like being on top,
like being on top.
But
yeah.
I know that you like being on bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, this is that thing of they have been together, and he does. She knows what he likes. I mean, because they were together, and they were very careful, from what David said. But I think that this is just such a really good way to kind of express it without actually having a beating happen. We see this over and over again. I did not want to see, especially at the time, a trans woman being beaten.
Oh yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen. And you know, she's like, tell Francesca, and then like Francesca shows up, and she's like, you know, the fuck were you doing, David? Were you gonna hit her? You know, and she's like all appalled about it. And David walks off, and she's like, did he hit you? And she's like, no. And then like Francesca's like, well, what is your relationship? And she's like, talk to David. Because,
you need to talk to David.
Because Ricky knew it wasn't her place to say something to Francesca.
She's not outing David.
No, it's not.
I mean, there's nothing really to out other than, you know, he had sex with a girl. It's straight sex.
Yeah.
But in the movie, they get that conflated.
They do.
And they do like treat it as if it's gay sex. To David, with his ideas of,
well, even Robby says it too.
I know.
But again, I'm just chalking that up to them just being young and dumb.
Also, it's 2015.
And
2026, yeah.
So, yeah, and that's when she goes back and she tells David that she had slept with somebody else, but also he tells her about sleeping with Ricky. And, yeah, I think there's a vulnerability, and there is definitely a redemption with David at that point, because you can see that this has been years of him dealing with his anger and self-disgust, that he was taking it out on Ricky.
It was his own self-loathing.
Yeah, it wasn't like, he wasn't disgusted by what happened. He was disgusted by the fact that he, you know, he again, Kentucky Southern boy, probably was raised to think that was all wrong anyway. You know, he went into the Marines. You know, he was probably raised to think that all of that was wrong. And so when he gave into it, his self-loathing in the situation definitely became...
Well, I can tell you, even joining the military was an attempt to...
Oh, yeah.
Act more masculine to...
Oh, yeah, he went into the manly man of the military.
Right. Because that's what... I mean, I did it as a trans woman. I went into the military trying to cover for what I felt was this uncanniness about me, of this deficiency, this the bad things about me. I thought I could hide them, and I kept thinking they were bad things. And that's kind of, I do see that in David. I do feel for David.
At first you hate him. You can't help but hate him.
Sure, absolutely, because he's reacting with this vitriol that pisses me off, and it makes me want to go after him.
But
I want to be the one holding his neck at that point. But nobody in this film, and I can assuredly tell you, nobody in this film is the villain.
No, there's no villains.
These are just...
Well, maybe her mom, a little bit. Francesca's mom.
Not even her.
No. She's
more,
misguided and stupid.
Sure. And I think it's just messy. I think life is messy. People are messy. And there is a realness to this in a way that, despite the fact that there's no actual like assault and there's no actual like punching going on, there are some very real points to this film where I'm just taken aback at how well it's portrayed, despite also seeming like a set, seeming like it's like a bad play sometimes. There are points to it where it's like I'm seeing a high school play. And then there are points where I'm like, oh, that was just really well done.
The part with what they were calling is the perverted guy, the pervert.
Yeah.
The Halloween. That was, honestly, you knew it was going to happen, but at the same time, it was like, holy shit.
It does show Ricky not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
But also it does, it's very tropey kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I think that the thing with David, honestly, the best part of this whole movie, and I can tell you, is not even got Ricky or Robby in it, is when Francesca and David are just sitting on the stoop. And they're sitting on the steps of her house, I believe. Mm-hmm. And it bothers me that the door's
wide open.
Yeah, the door's open, and it bothers me because that's a mansion.
And we have animals, and our animals would be like gone.
Yeah, why do you have the door open? You're letting insects in. That's insane. And it's bound to be hot and humid there. Why would you have your doors open?
I know.
But Francesca sits down, and David's already sitting there, and he kind of seems agitated, and you get the sense they're about to fight. And the first time I saw this, I thought they were. Mm-hmm. But they have an honest and open discussion. It's a little halting. It's a little bit scary for both of them, but they have a real heartfelt discussion about these things. Something I think I have always failed to do because I inject humor into things and it diffuses things, but that's how I've learned to deal with things. And I think I got to stop saying things. I think that's takes away from what I should be saying sometimes. And I can't get out of it. It's like echolalia in a way. I can't not make the jokes because I feel that that's preserving my feelings somehow. It keeps me from breaking. Mm-hmm. Because I am full of emotion. But if I break that down, how will I ever manage?
I get that because as you're talking, I am literally making jokes in my head, not because of what you're saying, but because I do that too. Like as soon as you say my emotions, I'm like, my emotions, because it's my thing is I have my own form of echolalia where I pick out a line or a word and immediately something pops into my head that it's like
it's a life preserver.
It is. And I can have a conversation with somebody, but it's so hard, especially when you're around people who don't know you that well, to stop making references like that.
Yeah.
But it is how I function. I don't know how to not speak in references.
No, I get that. I mean, because we both do it.
And like you're saying, though, I think it's I don't want the dam to break. I get angry when I get upset. Not because I'm upset. Well, no, it is because I'm upset. I don't want to cry. I don't like crying. I spent my younger years being called Sarah Bernhardt and being always accused of being overly emotional and Michelle's just crybaby and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I stopped crying. And when I do cry now, I don't like it.
Well, it's because they've made you feel that crying is a fault.
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, I don't know how to like reverse engineer that into a healthy way.
There's a lot of unlearning that comes forward to that. I mean, you see me, I cry all the time. Well, I cry constantly.
It's a point now where I am like, I don't know if it's the lowest thing on my list of shit I need to fix about myself. Let's put it that way.
Sure, but for me, it's about, can I talk while crying? Now, I cannot.
Here's the thing, though. I will actively look for like a fan fiction that I know is going to make me cry because that's when I need to have that release.
That's your release, yeah.
But I also don't want to cry in front of people.
Sure.
Oh, I fucking hate crying in front of people. Like when we had our graduation a couple weeks ago with my babies, who are leaving pre-K to go to kindergarten, and one of the parents came back. They left, and then they came back because her little guy wanted to say goodbye again. It dawned on him after they had left that he was leaving. That's when I cried. He was crying, Mom was crying, and I was pissed because I was crying in public.
Yeah.
So I get it.
I understand that. I do. But Francesca and David are having an open discussion.
Oh, yes.
That is not filtered. It's really honest. And I think it makes David very sweet. Because he even says, I liked being around Ricky. It had nothing to do with who Ricky was.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that Ricky was a fantastic person and I wanted to be around her.
Yes.
And he's gendering her correctly.
Yes.
Through all of this. And it's because he does know her. He just had to get over his own shit.
Yep.
And I think that Francesca saying, let's back off the wedding and not start over.
But get to know each other.
Let's get to know each other and learn each other truthfully because we've both been hiding parts of ourselves.
Yeah, being who other people expected us to be.
It's like the best part of this film.
Oh, yeah.
And then the worst part is coming right up after this.
Well, he says, do you love her? And she's like, no, I can't, I care for her, but I don't see myself spending the rest of my life with her. And then he asks, well, do you see yourself with me?
Right.
And then she's like, I don't know. And that is so pure because you don't know. You just saw a side of this person that you never would have fathomed.
When she said, I don't know how I can live with your hate.
Yeah, because it was seeing that.
But he is learning.
Yes. And that's okay, because as long as I am always willing to give somebody the benefit of the doubt, if they're willing to try to be better. Well, I am always trying to be better.
I've said it many times. I don't like J.K. Rowling.
No.
I hate the things she's done, and she has done devastating damage to the LGBTQ community, to other races. I mean, she has done so much damage.
Her own community.
Right.
The Harry Potter community who loved her.
If she changed.
Mm-hmm. And did some reparations.
Yeah, if she changed and fixed herself. If she changed for the better and was working towards understanding not just trans people, LGBTQ people entirely, and other races, and her anti-Semitism,
mm-hmm.
if she were breaking that down and trying to unlearn those things, I would readily accept her as another woman in our community. I would love that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want enemies. No one wants to if you want to have enemies, that's just weird, I think.
It is.
I don't want enemies. I want people to care about each other. I think that's weird that people don't. I don't want villains in the story. You don't need villains to have a protagonist. You just need people to care about each other.
I just don't understand hate.
Right.
I never understood hatred.
So this is not, and that's why I say this film doesn't really have a villain, doesn't have an antagonist, really. It just has a societal idea of what it means to be a person, what it means to be a woman, or what it means to be a man. And these are warring with each other. David is warring with himself about how to be a man. It has nothing to do with trans people.
No.
It has everything to do with a cis man's idea of being a man.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? And what does it mean to Francesca? Robby himself, in the most devastating part, and the best part leads the devastating part, which is Robby confronting Ricky and doing it badly because he doesn't fully understand, but he should. Robby saying, you're not a guy, you're not a girl. And I get kind of what he's saying is he doesn't know how to place her. But that is not what Ricky's getting out of this. It is devastating for a trans person to not be seen by the person they are in love with, the person they trusted the most.
Mm-hmm.
Because trust is everything to a trans person. We don't come out to people we don't trust. We don't trust easily because it's too heartbreaking to be rejected. And when she trusted Robby back in the day, and they've known each other since they were 6, he's always had her back. And for him to not see her as the woman that she is devastating. But he was saying, he had the right intent, but he was saying it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't finding the right words, and Ricky took it much like, and you see it in the vignettes of her as a child, the way her mother reacted.
Mm-hmm.
She felt he didn't see her as a woman. But the thing was, he didn't know how to say it. Just like her mother didn't know how to say the words. And saying the words means a lot because words have power. And for Ricky, she takes that in.
Mm-hmm.
She absorbs those feelings, and she doesn't want to be weak. Because to be weak means to lose yourself in the cutting or in the anorexia or in killing yourself.
Yeah.
It's not committing suicide. Committing suicide implies it's committing sin. It's not. Killing yourself is a pure act of finalized, of a final assault upon yourself. It is not tinged with sin. Sin is something you do in religion. This is not a religious thing. Ricky has to deal with her things. Now, you see in the vignettes as they play out, she said, I've thought about it,
Mm-hmm.
but I would never do it because I love the people in my life too much. I would never want to hurt them because they already lost their mother to cancer.
Yes.
Why would she do that to them?
And who would take care of them?
Right. And her father loves her.
Oh, God, yes.
He is such a good dad.
Very, very supportive father.
He's a supportive father who is supportive, not pandering. He is supportive to her because he loves her and because he sees her.
Mm-hmm.
He sees her as Ricky, as her. Not as my sweet boy, but as my sweet daughter, my sweet girl.
Mm-hmm.
And he never misgenders her. And her brother is so sweet. He's only confused in how he should react to himself, not to how he reacts to Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
He sees her fully as his sister. It's devastating to Ricky that Robby doesn't see her in that moment, that she feels he doesn't see her.
Yeah.
And there's this part where Robby thinks that Ricky might hurt herself because she's left, and her brother shows him that video, but he only sees the part up to where she says, I've thought about killing myself.
Yes. So he panics.
So he panics and he runs after her because he does love her and he does see her as her. But he has to see her as really her, as truly her, not his idea of her, not... Trans people just want to be seen as who they are. All of us are imperfections and the things we want you to see about us. Just like any human being would want to be seen. I would never look at you and just say you're perfect because you have imperfections. To deny you those imperfections would be to say that you're inhuman.
Bitch, I'm Mary Poppins. I am practically perfect in every way. I don't know what the fuck you're smoking over there.
Practically perfect, but not entirely perfect. And you have imperfections, but I don't love you in spite of those imperfections. I love you and you have those imperfections. I love you regardless because it doesn't matter. Those imperfections don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
The perfections don't matter. You matter. You're an amalgamation of those perfections and imperfections. Now, our kitten, Poe, is perfect in every way and she can do no wrong.
Monster.
But that's because she is
evil.
Because she is a goddess.
She is a
goddess.
Is
a pure thing of light and darkness.
She's sleeping and it is the cutest thing.
No, she's adorable and I love her so much. She is the only perfect being on this planet and I'll be taking no notes on that. But Ricky is hurt and she runs off. But really she just needed to cool down. And Robby runs, he's looking for her everywhere in this small town. You only see her stop in 2 places. That's because this town only consists of 1 road, which I think is adorable. Mm-hmm. 1 road and a mansion out back that they didn't know existed.
Mansion out back.
Well, they didn't know it was there. And they're like, oh, this place. I'm like, you didn't know? It's a very small town. It's got 2 houses, a trailer, and this road with 2 buildings on it that you're employed in. The garage and the coffee shop. That is all there is. But, well, and the dress shop that they look at, but they don't go inside of. Which I think is fake, personally.
Yeah.
I think it was just a facade. But yeah, Ricky's at the swimming hole, and that's where Robby finds her. Now, the end of this film is going to be... It's startling. It was startling to me back in 2015 when I saw it.
Yeah.
And that is because I didn't expect it. Not because of what it portrayed, I just didn't expect it to happen. Because it's a full frontal nudity scene of Ricky coming out of the water. Now, this is after they've kind of made up.
Mm-hmm.
But Ricky, and I get why. Now, you can say it's because the film needed like this gotcha, this thing of like startlement so that it made the film important. At first, there was a shock to it, only because it happened. If anybody had stepped out of the water fully nude, I'd be like,
yeah,
what the hell
you
just
don't
happened?
expect that at all.
Right. But I get why it's in the film, because Ricky needs to know, Robby, do you see me as a girl? And I'm not talking about the configuration of my genitals. You need to see me, who I am.
Yes.
And that was her trusting him. That was her laying everything bare. And it feels very much emotionally like coming out to someone for the first time. And I know because I did that with you. You're the first person I told. You're the only one I came out to for a year. So, yeah, it was very much like that. And I think that is a lot like coming out of a pool completely nude in front of someone.
You're bearing yourself literally and figuratively. Yeah. And that's a lot.
Right. And this doesn't mark the end of the movie necessarily. It marks the end of that issue. And Robby is fully on board.
Yeah.
And this becomes a thing of, is Ricky going to find her dreams? Now, she's turned down for her school.
Yeah, the school she wanted to go to, the fashion school in New York.
Right. But they're going to go anyway. And it turns out that Francesca sent her dress off to an influencer. At the time, I think it was just a YouTuber, a very popular one. And she loved the dress and therefore told people, her followers, to send Ricky $1. I don't know if that's legal, but yeah. So
she's like, I'm going to send her $1, and if you want it, you should do it too.
Right. So thousands of letters show up.
Yes.
And the mailman only delivered some in the mailbox. And this was all due to Robby, of course. Robby and Francesca and David figured out to do this.
Yes. And that's the sweet part of this movie, too, is when she gets the letters, because Robby's like, you need to go check the mail. And she's like, I can't wait, And
we have to go to work. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she checks it, and there's money. And then, they come up with bags of mail because the mailman's like, there was more than I could bring, and it's David and it's Francesca. And that's sweet because they're on her side now. Like they're all
like,
cheering on Ricky. Yeah. And it just shows you, again, people can grow and people can change. She never would have thought that she would have been friends with somebody like Francesca, let alone have David in her life like that. Not in a million years. And yet here they are, the 4 of them. I wouldn't say they're BFF and going on double dates or anything because we don't know any of that. But the fact that they're supportive in that sense of trying to help her.
Well, the way that David is very on board with the entire thing. He is not at all reticent
Yeah.
to be there. He is actively happy to
Yeah,
be
he's
there.
not like hanging back and being weird about it. No, he's got
Right.
2 bags in his, and he's carrying all the letters.
And then we see them packing up because it
Mm-hmm.
moves forward. They're packing up into Robby's car to go to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And she says goodbye to her father, to her brother. I keep wanting to say son, but it's because
her
she
brother,
treats him as a son sometimes.
Sam.
But her brother, and it's Robby and Ricky going off to make her way.
Mm-hmm.
And Robby's trying to help her live her dream.
Yeah.
And that's really where it ends.
It really does. And again, it's a very sweet movie. It's nice in the sense that it does have so much, even without, like, even with the negative moments, there's so much positivity.
What's a human positive film?
Oh, definitely.
It's about humanity, and rather than breaking everyone down into these little parts that you think everyone else should play, there's humanity in this film.
So
it's a tough one for me. It's very emotional. It's an emotional movie.
That.
I did very well until the end. That's when
I mean, if I didn't have to pee, I probably would have been bawling on the couch if I had to pee. So you missed all of that.
Yeah, and I just want to say that Schaeffer did have Michelle Henley look at the script and contribute to the dialogue and to the story itself, so that the character of Ricky didn't sound too fake, too contrived. There had to be a truth in it. So a real trans woman did help shape it. Though I think, again, we're looking at a lens from 2015, which has drastically changed. Mainly because trans people have found better ways to say it, and also because transphobes have found ways to use language against us. So we've had to develop better ways to say it.
Yeah. I get that. So how do you feel about this movie now?
I think I see it more as, I honestly, even though this is like about a trans girl, I think I see it more as the romantic comedy it is. Mainly because I'm not so focused on the trans part of it anymore. I know it plays a part, but for me, it doesn't. For me, it's oddly, it's so normalized in my head now that I just see it as a girl finding love.
So what's funny about that is I actually have to remind myself that the norm in society, not saying the norm as a truth, but the norm in society is heterosexual. Because I live in a rainbow family, and I have, interests and involvement in the community. And also so this being the first time I've seen this movie, it kind of, it had its funny, it's hard for me to reconcile. I mean, yes, it is a romantic comedy. It was a little light on the comedy. It had moments of laugh out loud, because I did have moments where I was like, ha, and that's laughing out loud. But it was just a sweet movie. I liked it. It was, I enjoyed it, not because of the content or what, okay, content maybe wasn't the right word. I didn't enjoy the movie because of, it was the best acting ever. No, I mean, I get that, it's organic, it's kind of janky. I enjoyed it because, like you were saying, it was nice to see a movie that had the blurred lines of relationships and not have it be a tragedy, being a butt of a joke, or, somebody was going to die. It was like,
yeah,
it wasn't pointing out how, yes, David had his moment, but there was, and I'm not justifying what he did, but that was his moment. And then he was getting better after it happened. He
It didn't rely on the tropes to continue being tropes.
Yeah, and he wasn't the factor of somebody getting viciously hurt, and that was it's literally refreshing. Other than some choice language and some choice scenes, I agree with Washington Post. This is earnestly instructive. I mean, it has that instructiveness to it.
Sure.
All right, I guess it's time for the stitch count. We are going to take this film, we're going to shake out the moths and see what damage they have done. And if it's still holding together as a quilt after all these years.
All right, well, let's start with the Castellini test. There have to be at least 2 named women characters with at least 5 lines of dialogue each.
Mm-hmm.
Easy enough, right?
Yes, because it's Francesca and Ricky.
Yep. And those characters must have a conversation, not necessarily with the other woman, either not about their partner or with their partner, future or current, and not about their relationship.
That's where it gets muddy, because the whole movie talks about relationships.
But it's not always about their relationships. Sometimes it's just about things.
They do talk about fashion and
talk
dresses.
About fashion.
And,
they get to know each other. They're not talking about the relationship. They're just talking about each other.
Okay, so they do talk about other things.
Sometimes they're talking about David or Robby. That's not their relationship.
That's true. Okay.
At least one of the women has to be integral to the plot, meaning that if she were written out of the film, it could not reach the same ending.
Either woman.
True, but
Ricky.
Presumably, Ricky, if you wrote her out of her own film,
That would be weird.
It would be weird.
So it's going to get the full 3.
It gets the full Castellini.
The full Castellini. I'm sorry, Brie. We may have to change the name of this because we have kind of changed to a certain degree. We may have to change the name of the test. So
it is her test.
It's her test. Well, but if we keep, I don't know. Okay.
We haven't altered it.
No, that's true.
Still
We haven't altered
3.
it.
So now let's go to inclusivity and gaze, which is
not gaze.
Right. Scoring is either on or off. It's either 0 or 1, and it's a possibility of 4.
Yes.
So number 1, racial diversity with agency, not just background.
No.
Well, David.
Really?
Yeah, he's not white.
Okay.
Did you?
I just thought he was. I don't know. I thought he was white.
Does he look white to you?
A little darker in the skin, but that doesn't mean anything. They live in the South, and he could be tan.
He looks Latino to me.
See, olive skin could be Italian too.
I guess.
I don't know what we don't know. It's not addressed, so we have to assume.
Are we going to assume white?
We can. It is Kentucky.
True enough, but Latino people exist everywhere.
I know, they do exist everywhere, but I don't want to give it credit where maybe credit isn't due. Does that make sense?
I don't
want to hurt
other than the possibility of David.
I feel like if it's going to have people of certain nationalities or certain races, there should be not so much the stereotypes, because I'm not talking about that, but something to denote. We do not get anything. We don't get a last name. We don't get a culture. We don't get anything that shows.
I don't think we have a last name.
Nope, it just says David in the IMDb, the IMDb. And so for me...
Oh, no, it does. David Appleby.
Oh, he white. He white. I'm sorry.
We can assume white.
He white.
But the character, the character and the actor, the character might be white. Who knows? So we'll say that does not get it for that.
Okay, so I'm sorry, but I didn't want to give people credit.
It's not credit. It wouldn't matter because it's not enough representation.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Diverse, so
it wasn't about credit; it was about representation.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Words.
Number 2, LGBTQ presence that isn't a punchline or a tragedy. And I think we have that in.
Yes, in the bag. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have trans, we have bi, we have. I don't know. I think it's just trans and bi. I think that's the only representation you get.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe questioning in there somewhere.
Yes. So,
yeah, it does get that. Age, body type, or disability treated with dignity.
I'm
trying to think of any disabilities.
And we can't say body type because they do. While Ricky is positive about herself.
I think other people are generally positive about her body type.
Yeah, but it's when David, and I don't know. Is it he?
I don't think it's not treated with dignity. I think
That's
it's
true.
I think
it's just slurred.
Yeah. I don't think age is necessarily
it's not really an issue. Well, I mean, her dad. I mean,
but it's not an issue.
Yeah. Well, even Francesca's dad. He's older and nobody has any. The only thing they do is like he didn't get the references, but that's not. They weren't making fun of him. It was just like an adorable kind of.
Sure.
He didn't get it.
And there's no disabilities to speak of.
No.
But we can give it the score on that.
Okay, so it'll get that point.
Camera gaze, not relentlessly sexualized or punitive. I think they did very well with the camera work. I don't think it was aimed at any parts to make it overly sexual. Even the full nudity at the end was not done as a punitive or sexual manner. It was done as a see me as a person, see me.
Yes. And even like
it was an emotional component.
Yeah, and like when they're doing the clothing and when she's measuring her for the dress, or even when they're wearing the bathing suits, there weren't like obvious shots where all you see is cleavage,
Right. It wasn't aimed at a crotch or a butt or anything.
No. So I'm going to give it the point.
Yeah. All right. So now the trimmers index, and it's either 0 at below trimmers, where it fails the basics, or it can be up to 4, exceeds trimmers, rare, powerful, and intentional. And don't let this, don't be swayed by me, this being my egg cracking movie.
No. I want to say 3, but I might be overshooting it.
Well, let's look at it. And every time you say something like that, I start breaking it down.
Yeah, well, that's okay because I skim through it at the last minute on purpose.
3 is tremors level, which is the gold standard.
Yes.
That is, competence is distributed across gender, age, class, and personality.
Yeah.
I think that's true. No one's incompetent in this film because of any of those things. Women make critical decisions without comment or apology.
That is true.
That is also true. The narrative assumes equality and moves on.
It kind of does, because when it comes to Francesca meeting Ricky, Ricky kind of is, even when she tells her, that she's trans, Francesca's like, well, shit. Okay.
Well, and it's not even about the acceptance so much as it is about no one sees Ricky is less of a person. Even David, who is angry at Ricky and says hateful things, admits that she's a wonderful person. So, yeah.
For him, again, it's that whole cut somebody else down than to actually admit that we're the ones who...
Right, and he does get over that. Survival requires cooperation, not dominance.
And it's true, because think about the ending. Francesca gives that influencer the dress. It was David, and she said it was David's idea.
Right.
And that they're helping.
Well, it was Robby's idea.
So it was Robby's idea, and David's out there helping, bringing the bags of so it is cooperative. I think so. I think there's no dominance.
I don't think anyone's dominating anyone in this film, except maybe the dad. The dad of Francesca, who is dominating David at one
but that
point.
was he had to, because David was trying to dominate Francesca in a negative way.
Right. But the outcome of this film is no one is in charge. These are a bunch of people existing. So yeah, I think that's true. It's cooperation. Everybody likes Ricky, and Ricky likes everyone she meets.
Yes.
So yeah, I think. God, are you right? Yeah, it's Tremors level. It's gold standard. So we'll give it a 3. Or we'll give it the point.
Okay. So that gives it a 7 out of 9.
That's a pretty good score.
It really is.
Now, this is an emotional score. This is a score based on our emotions and how we feel about this.
Oh, yes.
It is
you
not
may have different thoughts.
A score of the film itself, or its composure, or its camera work or anything like that. This is
it's writing
how
or
we
anything.
feel
It's just
about it.
about the story itself and what they presented.
I am the first one to say this film is not polished.
Oh no,
It is not a polished film. You're not going to get
the beauty of it.
But that is kind of the charm.
Yeah, if it was polished, I think it would be too sterile.
Okay, I can give you a good assessment of this film based on so you see the perfection of a home, okay, versus the perfection of a house. Francesca's house. It is big, it is there, but Ricky's home feels like home.
Yeah.
So I think that is how you can judge this film. It is not the big, expansive mansion, but it does feel a lot like home. Not always perfect, scuffed up. It's seen some distress.
Yeah.
But it feels good.
Yeah. I agree. That makes sense.
So, I mean, yeah, okay, good. I'm glad I didn't go off the deep end on some analogy.
So we are, again, changing things up, so I will not be giving clues. But do we want to talk about next week's guest really quick?
Absolutely, I do, because Pat Green is like one of our...
Pat is back!
Pat's such a good guy. I love him so much. And I just love having him on. He's always got things to say. You never have to get anything from him. He's always the first one to offer some emotional discourse. He is just such a good person. And what does he pick for us for Pride Month?
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
It's such a good pick.
I was like, yes!
It's such a good pick. And Pat could not have picked a better one for Michelle.
Yes. I mean, there's so much. Hugo Weaving, not only Hugo Weaving, just Hugo Weaving, but Hugo Weaving in drag.
He's weaving.
He is weaving. He is weaving.
But he's also sewing.
Yes.
But yeah, I think this is going to be a great discussion. I am very much looking forward to next weekend, in which we'll have Pat, not in the studio, but calling in. One day we'll get people into the studio. That would be nice. So yeah, that's
maybe one day we'll get people who are not just Pat and Polly.
Well, we have other people.
Well, we do. We do have other people.
We have other people lined up, and hopefully we will have them in. This is all on other people's schedules.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, there you go. Do your thing.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us for Boy Meets Girl 2014. This has been Cozy Quilt Cinema with Beth and Michelle. We loved having you in our blanket fort, sharing the stories and feelings these movies evoke within us. The beautiful thing about stories like this one is that they arrive exactly when they need to, and it did for me. This Pride Month, in a world that still asks some people to shrink themselves to fit, Boy Meets Girl is a quiet, joyful act of resistance. It's a reminder that being fully seen, fully loved, and fully yourself is not too much to ask. It is, in fact, everything. No matter where in the world you're listening from, with the right film selection, and a little honest look at the courage it takes to live openly, to love fiercely, and to demand that the world see you as you truly are, you might just find yourself sitting with every feeling this one stirred up and realize you needed it. Keep the stories going and the feelings flowing at cozyquiltcinema.com. There you can follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky, or send your feedback and personal reflections. You can even leave a voicemail. You can always find our episodes there and wherever you listen to podcasts. Please consider subscribing and leave a rating. We would very much appreciate that.
And don't forget our other podcast, Between Myth and Belief, where we talk about all things weird and odd and spooky and not spooky, but just a little bit crazy.
I don't have an ending quote.
I know, because, well, here's the thing. I'm used to us having our clues, and I got to get over that now. I do have an ending. No, it's really, I don't have an ending.
Do it.
Good night, sweet boys and sweet girls.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Bye, I love you.
Love you. Happy Pride.
I didn't really know him.
God, high school in this town. Who can survive it?
Isn't it the truth? I was fat.
I had terrible acne.
And I was a boy, so that sucked.